Oh, there'll be a hot one tonight. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another BRAP. This is podcast 161 on this 4th of July holiday. We will have the other panel members, they'll be trickling here shortly, but just wanted to start the podcast on time, so hope everyone is geared up for the 4th of July holiday. Actually, I typically don't celebrate 4th of July. Did when I was younger, but as I got older, I just kind of didn't do it. But yeah, we got a great show for everyone. We're talking about, we're going to be discussing Nintendo and their lineup of games for 2019. We're going to discuss the Witcher 3, which sold 20 million, and have an xCloud update as well. So, some good topics. Interestingly enough, though, the last BRAP podcast that we did, I should say the last BRAP rant, believe it or not, it looks like it triggered some people, quite a few people. Some interesting. It's called a pony. God, what else was I called? I was told that I had not spent a lot of time. So someone actually, just funny. So much people are in their feelings when you say that you don't like a game that they like, which is funny because if you like it, if you like a video game, that's cool. You like it, rock out with your cock out. Seriously, if you like a game that has an aggregate review score of a 6 out of 10, if you like that, then fine. You like it, cool, no worries, not even an issue. But it's interesting when you say that you don't like games, where there's a general consensus, the majority of people that have reviewed the game, and the majority of people that have played the game, the consensus is that this game isn't that good, but you like it, that's fine. But people are always looking to have their biases confirmed. And when you don't confirm their biases or you don't agree with whatever it is that they think or feel, they automatically question your logic or your integrity. What's up, Emmy of Astoria? And so someone actually said to me that they could tell that I hadn't spent a lot of time with State of Decay 2 and Crackdown 3. And I'm like, okay, well, why does it matter to you whether I like those games or not? If you like them, then cool, you like them. I mean, that doesn't... Why do you need to prove to me or anyone else that those games are good? As long as you like them, who cares? And that's the world that we live in, unfortunately. And that's a small sample size of the gaming community on Twitter, because it's a very small sample size. And I always tell folks that Twitter is not representative of the general gaming community and is typically not the consensus for things related to all things gaming. It is a small microcosm of gaming. And so, anyhow, it's just interesting. The last BRAP rant seemed to trigger some people. Look, I'm going to keep it honest. We are a podcast that does not pander, does not fanboy out. If you're looking to have your own personal bias confirmed here on the show, I can tell you that's probably not going to happen, because that's not how we roll. Many of us have been gaming for 30 plus years, 3 decades, and we bring a lot of knowledge, if you will, based on the 30 plus years of experience that we have gaming. We bring that to the forefront. And so, hey, if you don't like it, cool. If you do, great. We're certainly a podcast that, what's up, don't call me Danny. We're certainly a podcast that, at the end of the day, also values the opinions of others, but we don't do the fanboy stuff. So, just interesting to see the kind of reactions that I got on Twitter and in the comment section with the last BRAP rant that we did. If you didn't check that rant, it certainly has to do with the whole Alan Wake thing, and just me being, feeling disappointed that this is another miss for Microsoft. This was an opportunity for them to do a solid for their community, for the fans of the Xbox console. And I think that what a lot of people don't realize, and I kind of want to talk about this real quick because I think in terms of context, this is important. That look, I was an Xbox Live beta tester. I was a supporter of Xbox. I would imagine before some of those individuals that were criticizing me even touched an Xbox. I assume some of them were probably 360 adopters of Xbox, where I was in the OG Xbox. And so I'm coming from the perspective that in terms of exclusives and games and catering to your base, which is very important, by the way, if you're trying to sell a console, I think, in terms of providing games that really take advantage of the hardware, the OG Xbox did a better job than the Xbox One console. And I can name you a list of games that were awesome on the Xbox. I mean, you had Hideaki, Tomonobu Hideaki, who was the head of Team Ninja at the time. And I'm sure a lot of these Xbox fans don't even know who this guy is. These diehard Xbox fans don't know who this guy is. And you should. If you're a diehard Xbox fan, you should know who this guy is. If you don't, then, well, you don't. But he is the gentleman. He is an icon in the gaming industry. He's the one that brought Ninja Gaiden as an exclusive to the Xbox console because he believed in the power of the original Xbox console. And my frustration stems from the fact if you can't tell me that an unproven console had better exclusive support, had games like Shenmue 2, had games like Phantasy Star. I mean, we are getting Phantasy Star 2, but had games like Otogi. Otogi was a From Software game. Splinter Cell was an exclusive. Otogi was an exclusive. Jet Set Radio Future was exclusive. Sega GT was an exclusive. Oh, and there was a certain exclusive game at the time, a new exclusive called Halo that put that console on the map. And then other games eventually. Forza was born out of the OG Xbox generation. You had games like MechAssault, Crimson Skies. You had all these games. You had Steel Battalion. Steel Battalion it's a whole nother beast, but you had a ton of support from Sega, from Team Ninja, from Ubisoft. Games that were exclusive to your content and your platform at the time was an unknown. It was DOA, according to analysts at the time. And so that's where my passion comes from, just being there and remembering when Microsoft will listen to us. And I think those days are long gone. So, look, you can disagree with me, that's fine, but that's the perspective that I'm coming from the days of the OG Xbox and days of the 360. 360 to me was the pinnacle of the Xbox brand. So, anyhow, Don't Call Me Danny says the OG Xbox was amazing. Dude, the OG Xbox was a good console, man. I mean, you had Psychonauts, which ironically enough, Tim Schafer is now locked in as a exclusive developer, Double Fine. You had so many great exclusives on that console. I think one of the games think one of the games that think of Xbox Live, early Xbox Live support, Return of Castle Wolfenstein or Stein was actually one of the like really first like great multiplayer Xbox Live games. I remember there was a lot of Xbox Live clans at the time, and I remember I was part of a clan called the Brotherhood, and then Rogue Nation, and we used to get involved in a lot of ladder matches. I forget the websites. There were some dedicated Xbox Live websites for the clans, but we got into Unreal Championship. That was an exclusive for the Xbox platform. But yeah, they were Splinter Cell was born on the OG Xbox. I remember Ubisoft talking about the the ability to create some of the shadows, the shadowing effect and lighting effect on the OG Xbox that they couldn't necessarily do. That they couldn't do on the PlayStation 2. I remember that kind of being a thing. And that was kind of a point of contention for a lot of fanboys. Envy of sources, technical issues aside, Xbox 360 was a damn good console. It was, man. The 360 was easy to develop for a lot of developers. They had some great support. To me, the 360 was kind of just building off the momentum that the OG Xbox had, and really, because of the head start they had on online play on the console space, I think that benefited them with the 360 with certain games like Call of Duty. Call of Duty really kind of hit its peak. Maybe not its peak, you can argue that, because it's still a very high-selling franchise, but yeah, I remember a lot of people associated with Call of Duty with 360, but I think a lot of it had to do with because of how good the infrastructure was with Xbox Live at the time. And Sony really not investing in online play the previous generation. But yeah, you look at the 360. We had games like Blue Dragon. We had Lost Odyssey. Gears of War was born on 360. We had Fable. Fable was born on the OG Xbox, but we had Fable continuation of that franchise. And that's the thing. Like, if you're on the OG Xbox, you remember, Halo, Halo 2. You remember Fable being born there. You remember, Forza. And you were excited for those, what those games look like, the next console generation. So, and then we had some very pleasant surprises with games like Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon. So, all right, guys. So we should be expecting some of the other panel members to be joining us shortly. I know Eric Jackson will be joining us tonight. He had a long day at work and will be taking a break. But we miss you, buddy. We miss having you on this podcast. To the live chat, have you guys seen some of the images of The Witcher 3 from the new Netflix series, The Witcher? It's The Witcher 3, but it's The Witcher. Have you guys seen some of the screenshots of The Witcher for Netflix? Looks good. Looks pretty good. I'm actually really excited to see this show. So I don't know if you guys have seen the screenshots, but it's first look at Geralt, Yennefer, and Ciri. And Henry Cavill is actually playing Geralt of Rivia. If you guys have seen the screenshots of him, Envy of Sources screenshots look promising. Dude, they do. I was a little suspect of Henry Cavill as Geralt, but he looks the part. I think it looks great. Freya Allen plays Siri. I think she looks like Siri. I think this is going to be. I don't know, guys. I think this is going to be a series that's maybe it won't surprise people. I don't know. I think there's a lot of excitement and hype behind this. I know people are being critical of the screenshots. Oh, he doesn't have a beard. Yeah, but my understanding is they're staying pretty true to the lore, to the books of The Witcher, which I think is a good thing. Excited about. But yeah, I like to. I'm glad. I'm disappointed that. Obviously, I'm sad that there's not going to be any Marvel content on Netflix. It's one of the reasons why I've subscribed to Netflix. What's up, Death Grips? It's one of the reasons I sub to Netflix for the Marvel content. But Disney, that's their property. They have it on lockdown. But I'm glad to see that Netflix is bringing stuff like The Witcher. Anyhow, guys in the live chat, who's going to see Spider-Man this weekend? Spider-Man Far From Home released. So that's coming out. That's out now. I haven't seen it yet. I'm just waiting to take the kids. Probably go this weekend to go check it out. But so far from what I heard, it sounds like a great film. I tell you what, this the whole Marvel universe is interesting for me because I grew up reading the comics, and I remember, we always thought about like how cool it would be to like see a Marvel Spider-Man movie or an Avengers movie or X-Men. There was X-Men cartoons at the time, Spider-Man as well. But the thing that's really cool is that kind of growing up, like it's really cool like to see these comic books come to life now. Like I remember. Reading like the Silver Surfer, and I had like I had very early issues of Silver Surfer. I remember if you guys kept up with the X-Men, Fall of the Mutants was awesome with the Apocalypse and the Four Horsemen, and Angel who ended up becoming Death. Those are some great times. I remember and just reading comics, and it's really cool to kind of see those comics come to life now. Don't Call Me Danny says, I saw it last night. Don't Call Me Danny. If you had to give it, how many stars would you give it? 4, out of 5. No spoilers though. By the way, guys, I did pick up this week. I picked up Judgment, which is a PlayStation 4 exclusive by Sega. Here's another example of my frustration with Microsoft. So we have a new exclusive game called Judgment from Sega. And if you are a fan of the Yakuza series, you will probably like this game. I know it's gotten some pretty good reviews. Probably in the 80s in terms of Metacritic, I think. If those kinds of things matter to you, but yeah, this one's cool. I mean, it looks. I think I actually only played 5 minutes of it last night. I was trying to get into the game, and I just couldn't do it. I got tired, but certainly looks good. I mean, from what I've seen so far, but very much very much reminds me of the Yakuza series. Sega describes this game as a compelling modern day noir. But I also picked up Bloodstone. Bloodstain. Ritual of the Night on the Xbox One. And I haven't played it yet. I asked people like what I should play first, and I think most of the people said I should play Bloodstain. So I'll probably pop that in at some point and play that. Jeez, guys, sorry, guys. I'm actually kind of losing my voice here a little bit. Envy of a Story says I just started playing Judgment earlier. It's dope so far. Yeah, again, I've only played like a couple of minutes of it, but seems pretty cool. Envy, are you playing the game with the Japanese voice acting with English subtitles? Or are you doing English? I'm just curious because um, I selected English language and then subtitles too. I don't know why, but I did. Just curious to see if you're doing that. All right, guys. We're going to jump some topics real quick. Witcher 3 sells 20 million. So CD Projekt Red has come out and has announced that the third installment of the Witcher series has sold 20 million copies. 20 million. That's a lot of copies, guys. Hats off to them. And the game's actually going to be releasing on the Nintendo Switch, so you got to imagine that, at least I would imagine, I think that game's probably going to sell well on the Nintendo Switch, but 20 million? Woo! I think if I'm not mistaken, the break-even point for AAA games is about, I think 5 million sold, according to Mr. Phil Spencer, but 20 million is a lot. So, big shout out to CD Projekt Red. That's a tremendous milestone. That's amazing. And those guys are swimming in cash. You gotta imagine their holiday party is probably a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And you know what's crazy? Like with CD Projekt Red. Oh my God! With CD Projekt Red launching Cyberpunk next spring, holy moly! If this game is everything what we think it's going to be, CD Projekt Red may have just dropped 2 Game of the Generation releases in one generation. That's pretty damn impressive. Don't Call Me Danny, regards to Spider-Man, says, if you like Homecoming, you will like this one. The visuals are amazing. That's awesome, man. It's good to know. Alright, guys. So, it looks like I may be solo tonight. Everyone is running late. What's up, J Street? Looks like everyone's running late tonight. So it looks like it's just me. We were going to talk about does Nintendo have the best games of 2019? And look, I think Nintendo had a really strong E3. I think the great thing they did is say, "Hey, look here are the games that we're releasing now." They were showing us stuff that was coming out this year, which I think is awesome. Hold on a second here, guys. I'm trying to pull up this list of games. So the bigger games that are going to be releasing for the Nintendo Switch are Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Fire Emblem, Link's Awakening, which I'm really looking forward to, Astral Chain, which I'm looking forward to, and Pokemon, new Pokemon. Pokemon's huge. So this is a pretty. I think there's a lot of hype, a lot of interest potentially by gamers for all those franchises. So let me know what you guys think of the live chat. I think it's a pretty strong lineup. Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Fire Emblem, Link's Awakening, Astral Chain, and Pokemon. Those look pretty strong as, I think, titles that are coming out for the Nintendo Switch. And so, hey, maybe if these games come out It's a lot of content for the Nintendo Switch. A lot of good content. I'm telling you, Nintendo has been. I believe their attach ratio is 14-1. Something crazy like that. I mean, it's just absurd. I mean, they are Nintendo is full on comeback from the debacle of last console generation. No Comment is Hollow Knight 6 songs September. I don't know what you're referring to there. Don't call me Danny. Yeah, so I think Nintendo's got a very strong, lineup for the rest of the year, which is awesome. Awesome. If you own the Nintendo Switch, it's a great console. If you don't own it, you may want to look into it because they're really providing some very good content, which is nice to see. So, there wasn't an update on xCloud, but that's something that I think Eric was going to talk about. So we'll have to talk about that next week because I actually don't know on the ins and outs of that particular subject. And I don't want to give you any false information because it's kind of more of a news-related type situation. Yeah, sorry, don't call me Danny. I don't know Hollow Knight, buddy. Well, I haven't played it. I've heard of it, but I haven't played it. Shouldn't say I don't know. I haven't played it. All right, guys. You know what, guys? I don't know. I don't know when the other guy's going to be joining us. A couple of them said they're running late. Actually, Forte is not joining us. He's actually going to see Spider-Man. His wife surprised him. That's awesome. And B-Money says he'll be late, but I don't know how late. And Slow-Mo says he's running late. He'll be...
Slow-Mo was here.
Slow-Mo was here, dude. Did you sneak in the back door?
Yes, I did.
Dude, I was about to end this podcast.
Oh, I didn't sneak in the back door like that.
I was like, Nintendo's got a good lineup, yada, yada, yada. And, dude, let me tell you something, Slow-Mo. And I said this to the folks that are listening live. I got a lot of hate from that rant.
Yeah, man, the comments were pretty brutal. Some of them were pretty toxic too. Some of you guys need some professional help. I would recommend you speak with someone about your anger issues. Potentially someone who has a professional degree in giving good advice, and not like someone who would just incite you into doing something crazy. But yeah, it was pretty wild.
Yeah, man, I was actually kind of like surprised. I was like, well, I get, I don't know, man. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't be surprised anymore. But yeah, it was pretty intense, man. Like we had to even delete. I don't do this a lot, but I had to delete a comment from the comment section that was directed at you. That was very inappropriate, I thought.
It was, and I mean, like, that stuff doesn't bother me, but still, just the fact that someone would write that, and that stuff just doesn't need to be in any comment section. Those kind of words, racial slurs, whatever, no.
Yeah, and I agree with you 110%. And I just, there's, it's not funny, but you could tell that there's certain people that are saying things that aren't coming from a healthy place, and that's not what we do here at BRAP. But it just, I hate seeing stuff like that because I think about my wife when I've shown her some comments from like gamers. She's like, "Oh, you guys are like losers," and that's right. Hey, you guys are getting angry over video games. You guys are losers. That's what she would say, and I'm like, Not all of us are like that, honey. But that's
That's
the
the best
stigma.
you
Like
can do.
when people behave that way, it's a stigma we get.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't want to harp on it too much, but I
Yeah.
just want to say, like, just we have to come to a place where you can hear someone else's opinion about something
Yeah.
and you not get super angry about it. It's just like it's a part of being an adult, and a lot of those comments came from adults, and
Yeah.
but the syntax and the the vitriol that was that was in those comments, they sounded like something coming from a 13-year-old child.
Yeah.
And when you're a 40, 50-year-old man and you sound like a teenager who can't even drive, you really need to look in the mirror and figure out like what are you doing with your life. Honestly.
Yeah. It's
So
not good. It's not good, man. It's just very very unfortunate, man, to say the least. And like I said, I think it plays into that stigma or that perception that people have as gamers, man.
right,
So
right. So Joe,
which
what are the topics tonight?
well, I was just talking about Nintendo's lineup for this year, man. I mean, we're talking about games like Fire Emblem, Link's
Mhm.
Awakening, Astral Chain, Pokemon, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Um, I'm not saying that I'm going to purchase all those games day one, but I got to say it's a pretty nice lineup of games. It's a nice little diverse lineup of games for the Nintendo Switch, and Nintendo quietly might have the best lineup of games the rest of the year.
I do believe they do, and I actually three of those games you mentioned, I just put out a video about 3 hours ago about, and basically the video is six uh, games that you should check into for this summer, and three out of the six games are Nintendo Switch exclusives. So
Nice.
they really got this summer on lock. I think they got some really good games. Isn't the you said Pokemon Sword and Shield, right?
Yeah, so yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
say I just said Pokemon, but you're right. It's
yeah,
Sword
yeah.
and
So
Shield.
that, I
Yeah,
mean, that's coming out later
yeah,
this year. Yeah, yeah. Don't Call Me Danny. You said Luigi Mansion 3. I mean, like for me,
oh, that's right.
those Nintendo first party exclusives don't really resonate with me, but they're doing a great job this particular platform with getting good third party support. And
Yeah,
something that hasn't always been available on a Nintendo platform, even when the Wii was one last generation, they still didn't really have a lot of strong third party support. But now, man, I mean, like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, that's coming out in a couple of weeks. I've already like when that game comes out, that's it. That's all I'm playing. Um, and you got Fire Emblem coming out this month too, and then Astral Chain at the end of August. I mean, like for the next 3 months, it's like who else has
yeah,
good exclusives coming out? Yeah, people can say Judgment on PlayStation, but that game is in that Yakuza.
it is. Yeah, I just picked it up,
Yeah,
man. It's very much like very much like Yakuza. I mean, from what I read
yeah,
of the reviews and what I've experienced so far,
yeah.
it's yeah,
So you started with that first instead of Bloodstained?
yeah. I did because I didn't read what everyone's tweets were until like this morning. So,
Yeah, I mean,
but
like
yeah, no.
I think you should have probably would have went with Bloodstain because Bloodstain is shorter. I always if I'm like choosing between
Mm,
two two different two different games, I'll go with the one that's shortest so that I can be able to kind of knock it out and then move on to the next one that I'm interested in. And yeah, but that's just me, I'm not actually interested. I'm somewhat interested in Judgment, but I don't know how far, like, is it a completely self-contained story or is it really like deep into the Yakuza games universe? Because if it is, and then they're always referencing things from, I mean, I have like three Yakuza games that I haven't played yet. I got
mm.
Zero, the other one that begins with a K, and
Kamina, or something like that.
yeah, and I got another one. I haven't played them yet, and it's just like I don't want to play Judgment, and they're like, "Oh, that's that guy," and I'm like, "Who is that guy?" I don't know. So I'm not. I'm not playing it yet. And then the whole style of Bloodstain isn't really my kind of genre. But hey, this is a very unusual summer where good games are dropping. I think it's starting to become gaming has grown to the point where it isn't. Well, it used to be. It's just like only the good games will come out in the fall and winter, right?
Yeah, yeah, the fall and holidays. Yep,
And
yep.
then it expanded to the first quarter, also the first quarter of the
Hmm.
year. And now it's kind of be just like, look, hey, look, find a month
Yeah, right.
that nothing is coming out, and then launch your game because it seems like every month there's at least one or two games. So, but yeah, Nintendo's got it, man. They got this year. They're gonna have the sales, the hardware sales, and they're gonna have the software sales. If you ask me.
No, I agree with you, man. I think by all indication, like with if you look at the MPD numbers, I mean they've been kind of dominating this year, 2019. And
Hmm.
I don't see them letting up, but that's great. I mean, look, I'm all about Nintendo doing well and Microsoft and Sony because competition is good.
Yeah, yeah.
Only benefits us.
Yep, the more the competition, the better the games are, and that's usually what I've seen in my 30 plus years of gaming.
Oh, don't say that, Slim. You make me feel old, man. Because I'm with you there, man. Like I've been doing this a long time. 30 years, a lot. Yeah. It's funny when I talk to Warrior Wart. It's like he's been doing it a little bit longer than I have. And to hear him talk about like in television and oh my goodness, like Pong,
Mm.
and just kind of seeing where the industry's come from, man. It's crazy. Like I'm actually in a lot of ways. I kind of joke around like it kind of sucks being old, but I'm not that old. But it sucks being older. Um, I think it's cool that I've had that we've had that perspective, Slomo, of seeing what consoles first looked like and how limited the technology was. Like a lot of these people didn't play Space Invaders. A lot of people didn't play Pong.
Right, right.
A lot of people didn't see the transition from 2D to 3D. And I really think that kind of makes us kind of puts us in.
What was the first 3D game you played? I think mine was a Virtua Fighter on Saturn.
Ooh, you know what? That's funny you said. Mine may have been Virtua Fighter. Because I remember like
Wait,
going to
did Super Mario World on N64 come out before that or after? I'm thinking
no
after.
Mario 64. Mario
Mario
64.
64. That's it. That's it. Mario 64.
That might have been actually Mario 64 was the first 3D platforming game that I played, and I'll never forget playing it because I played it at KB stores. Remember KB?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they had like a kiosk, and I remember playing. I think Virtua Fighter though might have been my first like 3D experience on a Saturn
Yeah.
because that was also at KB.
I remember being amazed at how the arenas for the fighters would have like uneven ground, so
Yeah.
you could kind of get like a little higher ground. I have the high ground for the
Don't
Star
do it,
Wars reference.
Anakin. I have the high ground.
But it would really
You'll
like
try.
it would really be an advantage in Virtua Fighter because like people would try to hit you, you just kick them from the high ground. You just
Yeah.
do that until they had lost all their health. Man, it was fun, man. It looks like Don't Call Me Danny had said Demon X Machina in the chat. Is that one coming out this year? I think it
Yeah,
should be
that
coming
is
out
coming
this year.
out. That is coming out. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Distracted by Life says Stadia is not competition though, and he is 100% correct with that.
Stadia is competition. I don't care what anyone says.
No,
Slow
apparently
mo.
Sony doesn't think so,
Well,
and
Sony doesn't think so because it's a streaming service, and they feel like, hey, it's not hardware. We're not competing against hardware. But I do think that it's still competition in the sense that it's still a gaming platform. That you're still playing games. I don't know. That's just my.
Distracted also said, "What about that holographic arcade game by Sega?"
I don't remember that.
I do recall my first VR experience at
Uh,
like King's Dominion. I don't know if you guys know what King's Dominion is. It's a
yes.
amusement park in Virginia.
Do you remember it was Paramount Kings Dominion?
Yeah, yeah, it was. Is it still that? It's not
No,
that
it's.
anymore,
I think it's just Kings Dominion now.
Yeah, but they had one of those like 3D things. It was super expensive to play, and people had to wait in line for it. It was terrible too. It was just it was like this
Was
little.
it butt pudding?
It was what?
Was
Oh
it
yeah, yeah,
butt?
yeah. It was butt pudding.
Wait,
It
was
looked
it?
like butt pudding too.
Was it
Um,
trash?
but it was like you had to stand on this platform, and then there
Uh,
would be like this protective ring around you to keep you from like walking off the platform. And and it was like kind of like a treadmill. So you would walk, and then you would be in the VR with a huge VR helmet on your head. It was really heavy for me. I was a kid, and you would walk, and then you would be moving around. But it was kind of like Space Invaders, where you would just look up and you would see these aliens coming down. You had to shoot them. It was so inaccurate, and the graphics were like 1979-ish looking.
yeah, yeah.
It was bad. And then I remember taking the helmet off, and like one of the guys that was working there was like, "How'd you like it?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." I'm gonna go home and play my Sega.
Oh
Just
my god,
gonna
that's
play
funny,
some
man.
good. Um,
The way you said that makes it actually sounded pretty like accurate, like the way a guy would say that. How would you like it, sir? You know that.
Yeah, it's just like, oh gosh, like, have you tried it? Because this is pretty terrible. Like, maybe
like,
someone who had never played video games before might think it was amazing. I was just like, bruh, I'm playing
oh my.
Street Fighter right home.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna play Street Fighter. I'm good. That's too funny, man. But yeah. But Nintendo, man, they do have an impressive lineup for 2019. So I'm excited, man. I don't get to play Switch a lot because my kids hog it. But
Yeah.
uh,
I don't let my kids touch my Switch.
yeah,
That's why I'm trying to get them. My oldest, the mini. Once I get him his mini, then he can leave me alone.
leave it alone. Yeah.
You
So
know, there's like even more third party retailers who make like those cases
yeah,
have come out, talking about they have like not necessarily like specs for it, but they have been told by Nintendo what to kind of build for. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it's I think it's gonna come out this year. That's what
I
I'm.
mean, I would be surprised. I came across. I didn't read the article. I think there was a chip article in regards to the new Tegra chip or something by Nvidia, which is what the Switch has. I'm sorry, Slim. Oh my god, dude! I was around people that were smoking today, man. Not a good thing. Um, yeah, but I think that's gonna. I think that thing's gonna happen, man. I keep hearing about it too much. And as a matter of fact, when I was at GameStop yesterday, I heard the manager and some other customers talking about the Switch Mini, and they sound pretty like convinced that that's coming.
Yeah, I think it's
Um,
gonna be a holiday release for it.
yeah, I
Oh,
can
that
see
would
that.
be so perfect because that's where parents are normally looking to buy stuff like that for their kids,
Mm,
and it's definitely a device that's geared towards the younger audience. Hey, look, here is a device that's a little bit more durable. You don't have to worry about the Joy Cons getting lost or breaking because it's staying connected to the device, and it's going to be cheaper. At least I think that's my expectation. It'll be cheaper than what
that's
regular Switch is.
yeah.
Like 200.
Not, but how much?
I think it would be like 200.
Oh, I think you said it's gonna be cheaper by 200. I'm like,
Oh
whoa,
no,
oh,
no,
I think
Nintendo.
I think we. I'm like, Nintendo's not that. I mean,
They'll never at $100. You can't even find now. I guess wait, no, you can finally like aftermarket prices get like a 3DS for like $100.
I
Like
mean, some
if
of
it's like
they
a decade old.
the Wii U was. I mean, even close to the release of the Nintendo Switch, the Wii U was still selling for like $299. I was like,
Even
Nintendo.
wait, even now?
No, I don't know. I haven't seen a Wii U in a long time. I'm saying like prior to launch
Let
of
me
the
go to
Nintendo Switch.
my favorite mom and pop place nearby and see how much a Wii U costs.
Yeah.
Oh crap! How did I get to that website?
Uh
Not
oh.
not a bad website. Let me see.
Oh.
It's just not the one.
Nothing. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I forgot the E. There we go.
Distracted by life says, "Hey, Brad, I can see why Slomo is your vice president." And didn't know you were my VP, Slomo.
I didn't know that either, but
Mm.
yeah. So when are we running? Because
Not,
I
nah,
love to be VP and not have to do anything. That would be great.
yeah, yeah. Right, get Mike Pence's job.
And just you just sit back and everything bad that happens, I'm just gonna blame you. And everything that good that happens, I'm just gonna stand up right behind
Yeah,
you and be like, yeah, like I had something to do with it.
yeah.
The Wii U can be wow, okay. You
Is it
can
still
buy
$2.99?
no. From this the store is called Starland,
Okay.
and they do aftermarket everything.
Oh,
Everything's used, but it's in excellent condition. I've gotten like all my 3DSs from them and some games too. And
yeah.
they're selling the cheapest price they have for a Wii U is 122.
What? Wow. That's not bad.
Yeah. I'm not going to buy it, but I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah, I'm not buying it either. It's
I mean, if you're like one of those collectors where there are people out there who they just buy everything.
yeah.
They bought the old like Amiga. Remember the Amiga systems that never sold for anything?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean they probably bought those too. All the weird consoles that just like
Yeah.
who thought that was gonna work? Kind of console.
Somebody did, man. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like we have that unique perspective, man. We've seen, what works, what doesn't work in the in the gaming industry. So,
Yeah, man. Yeah,
people should listen to us more often. That's all I'm going to say.
yeah. And and I got shout out to E. I don't know if E's gonna be able to make it tonight, but E,
Yeah.
remember a while back E said he showed us in DM this book that had like it was like the encyclopedia of video game consoles.
Yeah. Yep.
So I bought that book after he mentioned it because I was like, oh, I gotta have this just to kind of for nostalgia reasons. And I read through it, and it was just there were consoles in there I had never heard of, like
Like
just.
3DO.
I remember Panasonic's 3DO. I remember laughing at it. I
Yeah.
was just like, "This is." I remember seeing it before launch and like, just like as a kid, like
This
this is
trash.
not going to work. It was like the size of a VCR. I was like, this is not going to work, man. Shout out to Chief Tome with the $2 super chat. I'm loving the discussion. Thanks, bro. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Chief. Tell me.
Um,
Hey, Slim. Let me ask you something. Kind of pivot here a little bit.
yeah.
What do you think about the report that Microsoft's still planning a low-cost streaming-focused Xbox? I mean, we heard about maybe Lockhart initially that there's going to be two consoles. You're gonna have Lockhart, then you have like the high-end console, and then we heard that Lockhart's not going to be a thing anymore. Maybe it was put on hold.
Mhm.
But what are your thoughts about that, man? I mean, because that
Okay,
to me
so
that
maybe I was a little bit out of the loop. What are the details that are coming out about this not
oh
Lockhart, but Lockhart kinda console?
yeah, so Brad Sams actually I think on his YouTube channel mentioned it, and actually I'm going to dump this article in the live chat here, and you can see that as well. Give me a second here.
Now, did he say would it come with a hard drive or
No, no,
SSD?
this is a streaming only console.
So what would be the form factor for something like that? I wonder. Like I mean, like the size of say, it, like
I don't know.
a Roku 3 or 4.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, like a
Yeah,
Roku device.
yeah, something that could fit in the palm of your
Yeah.
hand and really only has like a very basic motherboard and then the inputs for the ports for HDMI, your power supply, your power supply port, and I don't know, controller a port
Hmm.
for your controller. I don't know what you would do with that, but uh,
Yeah. So this is again. This is all coming from Brad Sams. He did put up a YouTube video. He's basically saying that um, he's saying that the streaming box is still is still being actively developed inside Microsoft, um, and that he thinks that it's going to be. He thinks that the
Uh,
box is going to make the streaming experience a little bit better than if you were just
yeah. See, I'm
streaming from
looking
like a
at it
TV.
now, and it says Sam's estimates the hardware could come in as low as
I
$60
was going to say that $60. Yeah.
or up to 80 with a controller thrown in. That would be a great idea. And I said that
And
about the Lockhart
wait,
like last year.
and Phil's saying 3,000 games, right? Like something like that, right? You
Yeah,
get
yeah. That would
yeah.
be perfect. If you just think about this, right? If they really want to have a low end device to get people who aren't like hardcore gamers, they don't really care about having 4K 60 like us, but they do want to play these games. Or you want to have a secondary device that say, like for me, like right now, I'm in my home office, and I have I have a PSTV in here that I can do I can stream my PlayStation 4 from. I
Hmm.
would replace this thing with that in a heartbeat. 60 bucks. I already have controllers, so I don't need that.
Yeah.
$60. Yeah, you could make a killing with that. Think about that. It would be almost like how people buy multiple switches per household because it's
Hmm.
a handheld device and you don't want other people touching your handheld, so you just buy one for your kids, kind of deal. You could buy
Hmm.
multiple ones of this streaming device and put them on like different TVs in your house, and then you just very easily plug in and play a game in a different area in case, like, say, you got company and they're watching, like, say, something on your big 4K TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know a couple of people who would definitely be interested in that.
Yeah.
Uh,
OBJ the Don being one of them. Probably not. Probably not. But
yeah, probably not OBJ. Probably not.
yeah.
Shout
Yeah.
out to Keep Telling Me with the $5 super chat.
Yeah. Chief told me, thank you, man. Happy 4th of July to everyone. By the way, a holiday I don't celebrate, but I'm not going to get into the politics of that.
Distracted said, "Would replace Slomo's all-time favorite game, Crackdown 3." See, like, Enrique, I blame you for this.
By the way, apparently I have not played enough of Crackdown 3 or State of Decay 2.
um,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I would think anything could play Crackdown 3. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll play that too. But
Yeah.
it did get I mean,
I only got a review copy from Aaron Greenberg, but I'll leave it with that. So,
it's and didn't they say xCloud supposed to be pretty much like 10, or the Lockhart was supposed to be a 1080p 60 box for next gen. So you get 1080p
yeah.
resolution, but lock 60 frames per second. That for a stream box, if they can make it work, you're
Mm,
still doing streaming, but at least you have hardware versus you're streaming over YouTube like Stadia. I think that would be a better idea. Maybe.
I mean, I agree with you. I think there's more value in terms of what and then perform like the performance you mentioned. But I think in terms of value, though, like the 3,000 games or so they mentioned that would be available, and then they charge you. I don't know how much they're going to charge you. Whatever, I guess whatever Ultimate Game Pass is or Game Pass, right?
Right, right.
A month. I mean, they're going to have more content on launch than Stadia will, and
Yeah, way more content.
way more content. And then I think xCloud's obviously a little more developer friendly, where they're just saying, hey, you just have to
Honestly,
give us the permission, and we'll do everything else.
honestly, I hope they do this. I really hope that this is what they do, and it's small and easily portable. Because
But Slomo, here's what I'm okay. This kind of goes back to the Brap rant the other night. So this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that Xbox is a services platform, right?
yeah,
I'm not hearing anything where they're saying we want to take advantage of the new hardware. We want to create these big AAA experiences, right? We want to show people why you want this console. I don't see that. What I'm seeing is, hey, if you subscribe to us, give us a $14 a month, you have access to 3,000 games. You can stream these games anywhere you go. right?
They have a messaging problem, and I know this is probably going to trigger some people who are listening.
But
Sorry,
slow mo. But
but
why?
it's
Okay,
true. There's a huge messaging issue with
but do
them.
you see that though? Like, do you am I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
am
absolutely.
I talking crazy?
No, 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 no. You're not talking crazy because this is what they now. Here's the funny thing, right? So, like, you saw all of Phil's interviews after E3,
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
or read them all. Some of them were on video, some of them were, through text. But Phil hears all the criticisms, and then he still doesn't quite believe them. But I, maybe it's different when you are internally within the machine of the platform versus you're on the outside looking in and you're hearing what they say, because I don't think Phil understands how they come off. They come off like everything's about Game Pass. Game Pass,
Hmm.
Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass. We're doing everything to get you on Game Pass, but we're not doing everything to get you the kind of games you that the hardcore want. But we will have games. And this is kind of something I said on Scumcast last Saturday, and some people jumped the gun and was like, "Oh my God, slow mo said." No, what I was saying was that I don't think Phil cares about the hardcore gamer, and that does not mean that you're not going to get hardcore games for the hardcore gamer, because they're giving their first party studios, which are now one studio more than Sony studios, creative freedom. And so, with that many studios and they all have creative freedom, you're going to get some casual games, you're going to get some AAA games, you're going to get some games for the hardcore audience, because they have the creative freedom to do whatever they want. So that's just it's just the luck of the draw. It's the averages, so to speak. With those many studios, some of them are going to do that, and some of them aren't. Some of them are going to have some AA products. And Exile said, "Yeah, we're just going to have slightly better looking, polished versions of our games that you've already seen." And which is fine. I like
Yeah. Yeah.
games. They make XCOM kind of RPG games
Yeah. Yeah.
with better stories. Wasteland 2 is on Game Pass right now. I tried
Yeah.
it. I'm going to finish that game. The story's pretty good, and I like
Yeah.
XCOM kind of stuff. But
Hmm.
for those looking for that AAA experience that PlayStation was talking about, I mean, the thing is that you don't really you can't say outside of Halo, Gears, and Forza that you're going to really get that from the Xbox platform. But
Yeah.
Steve's out there telling you this is what we're focusing on. So, like,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
of our
And
first party content will be on that level, and that's
yeah.
what people want to hear.
No, they don't. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. I think look, dude. I think the messaging is loud and clear. It's you mentioned E3, and I think the messaging there was everything was Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass.
Coming on Game Pass.
Yeah, and I get it. Like it's a great value, but I think that's the direction they're heading. It's I think like Forte said, I think them launching a next gen console is more. I think you say it's more lip service than anything else.
You know, something, and I just actually want to shout out the Real Masculine. I watched the video that he came out with yesterday, and there
Yeah.
was
Okay.
5 reasons why the Xbox will lose next gen,
I saw that. Yeah, I didn't watch the video, but I saw that. Yeah.
and he made some very very good points. I think if someone in the Xbox leadership would watch that video, they would say everything he said is correct, but that's not our focus. They don't care about console sales. And everyone that we know in this community or Harper Games, period, we look at next gen as whoever's going to win next gen is going to have the highest number of console sales. Whereas they're looking at when the financials come through, who made the most revenue. That's why they're going towards we don't care where you play the game. You can play it on Steam. You can play it on through our Microsoft Store on
Yeah.
PC. They don't care. You can play on Xbox. You can play some of our games on Switch. We wanted to get our games on PlayStation, but they said no. You can play on your mobile phone. We don't care. You can play on a toaster if it can run it. All they care about is that you are subscribed and you're giving them $15 a month.
Dude, I agree 110%, man. Like they're making money. They're making money off subscriptions right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
and that's why the whole
yeah.
$1 thing, like, yeah, we're all on it. We got that $1 Game Pass Ultimate subscription. You can't go back. So
Mm-mm.
when your year is up that you already had down,
Mm-hmm.
or for me, my 2 years, and in 2021, I can't go back to separate Game Pass or picking up little Game Pass $1 things here and there, and then resubscribing and using Microsoft rewards to get a free year off. You can't
Yeah.
go back unless you go get a different game tag or a new account.
Yeah.
You're on that $15 train per month going
Mm-hmm.
forward. It's a good long term smart business sense, because of course a $1 trillion company knows how to make money. So it really, for them, it comes down to Sony's going to be looking at, we next gen, we continued what we did with PS4. We are the highest console seller. We have, and that's going to work a lot with for publishers, because how do they make their money? They put
Yeah.
their games on the console that sold the most, and
Mm-hmm.
they take the money from the platform that pays for their content, right? Microsoft is in this Game Pass camp, but how does that work with publishers? Well, you want me to put my game in day and date?
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that. Not
That's
unless
a good
I
point.
have
Yeah.
to, So it's and and actually Matt Piscatella even said this. He thinks, and I agree with him. I think that this whole Game Pass helps games is only going to
Mm-hmm.
work for indies. It's going to help indies sell
Yeah,
more.
because he said that. Well, he said right now, like even for first party AAA, like it seems to work okay now, but they weren't even. I guess he wasn't sure if that's going to be the case. I think moving forward.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
really don't think it's going to be the case for their first party games. I
Yeah.
don't think it's going to help their first, especially now with the $1 Game Pass Ultimate. I have no reason to buy Gears whatsoever. I'm getting the best edition of the game. I'm playing it early.
Okay, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like like okay. This goes back to my rant. I probably didn't articulate this well enough for people, and this is probably why they got triggered. They're gonna get triggered anyway. Anyhow, but that's my point. Like what you just said, I'm still getting gear. You're getting the ultimate version of Gears for not for free, but as part of a Game Pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're getting it day and date. You're getting it for $1, basically. Um, that's the thing that, like, in terms of messaging, like what you're saying is, okay, I have this service, I can take advantage of these games that are coming on the service. It's never, oh my god, like this game's gonna look amazing on this new hardware. You see what I'm saying? Like that's
Yeah.
not the conversation we're having, and
Right.
that's not the conversation I don't think Microsoft's having with the gaming community.
Yeah. And then, you know what? Let's have a conversation about these games real quick, okay?
Yeah,
So Gears 5.
trash,
Gears 5.
trash.
Do you know that on YouTube,
Yeah.
the official Gears 5 trailers have less views
Yes, I
than
see that.
Ori
Yeah.
2, less views than freaking Microsoft Flight Simulator, less views than anything that they showed that was first party at E3. And this game comes out in
Jeez.
less than 3 months.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Do they still think it was a good idea to not show the campaign?
Apparently, apparently, people are saying to me on Twitter, why blow your load early? I'm like, what?
I'm sorry, but that has
That's
worked for Sony. Sony in 2016 showed us everything they had left
hey,
for the
your
game.
boy Dominican Rocker's back in the live chat.
Ha- Good evening, Dominican.
Yeah,
I
he's
hope
saying.
you enjoy the show, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, Gears. I'm a little concerned about Gears. This I'm concerned because I've seen this kind of behavior from a developer for games that were in trouble. When I say in trouble, I mean
Okay.
like the
Yeah.
campaign, like
Yes.
they're working on issues and they
But
can't show it because they don't want it.
they don't want to,
They don't want people to see something that they can't unsee, but they're
Here's a,
hoping that they can get it all fixed before launch.
maybe they're hoping, hey, people only paid $1 for Game Pass. They're going to try it, and maybe they'll like it. We don't have to show anything. Dominican Rocker says none of this matters if the game delivers.
That's true.
That's true. You're right. But if the game doesn't deliver, this is bad. Here's the thing: if you don't, it's like this. Like people are saying, well, I know the pedigree of Gears. I know that Gears. The Gears campaign has always been strong. Yeah, that's true. Um, Under Epic, it was strong. Coalition, Gears 4 was a campaign terrible. No, but it wasn't. It, it was
I'm
okay. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was good, but it wasn't the best Gears campaign
I'm
that I
not.
played out of the franchise. And now, so when they don't show me the campaign has been a staple, along with the multiplayer aspect of Gears. That's a concern for me. It's like, and I use this analogy, Slomo, and I might be off here, but it's like let's say Slomo, you have a friend, right? His name is Bob. And let's say Bob is, he's a coworker of yours, and he shows up on time every day. And his coding's up to par. He's always sharing, showing you what new projects he's working on and his latest code, whatever. Right? He does these things, right? Let's
Mhm.
say Bob starts showing up to work late, right? And you're asking him, hey, Bob, show me what you're working on. You haven't been around much. You've been kind of quiet. You typically share your coding with me and you show me what you're working on. Can you show me now? And he says, yeah, no, you know what, Slomo, everything's okay, man. I'm gonna show you 2 days before the project's due. Like, how would you? What did you say? Wait a minute, like this is out of character for Bob, right?
Right, right.
Like, wouldn't you question that?
Yeah, it sounds like there's a problem here.
Yeah,
It seems like there's an issue,
yeah,
and that's why I'm kind of like wondering. And this is coming from someone. I'm a big Gears fan. I think Gears 3 probably had the best campaign. Gears
yeah, because
4
she was
isn't as
good.
bad as Judgment. Judgment should not be spoken of.
No,
Judgment
no, I don't
is
think anyone lumps Judgment in with the Gears franchise.
no. Judgment is not even. When people say I'm gonna play through the Gears series again, they don't even mention. They don't mean Judgment. They mean one, two, three, and
Yeah,
four.
right.
Right? They don't even mean Judgment. But I mean, I've read the books, even the slab, which details Marcus and his time in prison
Marcus.
after trying to save his father
Mm.
and disobeying Hoffman's orders. Um, I'm a big Gears fan. I'm not a big fan of the multiplayer,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
a big fan of the story and the campaign. I've enjoyed those. So for me, it's a big disappointment that I don't know much about the campaign right at this point. And that's what I really, really wanted to see at E3, and I didn't get that. So it's frustrating for me that I kind of going in this blind that they're going to start. Well, we'll show you campaign September. I'm like, but the game launches September 6th. Like, what are you going to show? What on the third, the first? Like, what, I mean, it's like at that point, it better be ready to be shown. The game's about to launch, so that's it's worrisome to me because I want this game to be good. I want it to be good. I want to have a great campaign. I want to be re re re-energized for this franchise. That's where I want it to be. Because if it's not, can you really see people? If Gears 5 bombs, is
Hmm.
GameStop really going to do much of anything? Is Gears Tactics next year going to do much of anything?
Probably not.
Right, right. So this game really needs to be everything that they want it to be. Um, You got Ori next year, which is I think Ori's going to be great. Um, uh,
Should be good.
yeah, and outside of Ori, Bleeding Edge, I actually finally got into the alpha for
Yeah.
Bleeding Edge. So it is I can't show anything, um, but I can talk about how I felt about it.
Well, yeah. I tell you what, they heard you complaining,
Yeah, yeah, because it seems like right after I made my complaints, all of a
dude. It
sudden,
was
then the
it was
alpha
literally
hit.
slow mo. When you said you got into the alpha, I was like, ooh, wait a minute. Are they listening?
Right, right. But yeah, yeah. I mean, look, and I know there's some people who were really upset with my comment on Twitter, which was simply I saw 30 seconds of gameplay and I said, yeah, I'm not really feeling it. And people took that as I called the game trash. I'm writing it off. I'm not going to play it. No,
Yeah, I saw
none of
that.
the above. All I said was, I'm not really
Give,
feeling
give,
that 30
give the game a
seconds.
shot, slow mo.
Yeah, give it a chance. I'm like, I'm
Yeah, I saw
still
that,
giving it a
man.
chance. I'm in the damn alpha. So
Yeah,
I'm trying to get into the alpha. And now I am, which is like funny that right after I said all that, now I'm in the alpha. So look, I am a very honest person.
yeah,
If I play it tomorrow is when they're allowing people in the alpha to play on Thursdays.
yeah. Well,
And
I don't know how much you'll be able to share, but hopefully you can share some of your experiences with us, man.
yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna play it tomorrow night, and I'll share my experiences. And if it's fun, like, and I've heard people who played it at E3 say most fun game they played at E3, and these are people who don't particularly normally care much about Xbox games, and they said, no, that game was the most fun game they played at E3. That I take notice of that. So
Yeah.
I mean, hey, it might actually be fun to play. I'll let you guys know. But as of now, I'm still very meh on that one.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I mean, like it's not like I saw the gameplay. It's not something I'm looking forward to, but if there's someone else out there that's looking forward to the game, it's awesome. I mean, it's just not my cup of tea per se, you know. Um,
Hey, everybody, give me 1 second, okay?
yeah, man. I want to give everyone a big shout in the live chat. Thank you guys for hanging out with us this evening. Definitely appreciate the support. Appreciate the super chat, Chief Tommy. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, dude. That's awesome, man. Let's see here. I got some messages. Oh, all right. Death Grip says a little I've seen looks good and a good departure from the standard man. I don't know what you mean by that, but like Bleeding Edge is something I'd play, but not buy to own. Yeah, I mean I could see that. I mean for some, I think it's gonna be. I don't know. It's interesting. GameSpot. Love the game. I think gave it game of the show. Um, but it's not a game that I think I would be very interested in playing for a long period of time. Oh my! Ryan Landis says, "Don't forget your pony obligations." Enrique, I think he's try. I am not signing any pony contracts, guys. I am a neutral gamer, as they say. All right, so geez, guys, I think that's it in terms of topics. We talked about The Witcher selling 20 million, Nintendo having the best games in 2019, and a little bit of an X Cloud update and their competition with Stadia. The whole Stadia thing is gonna be interesting. I'm really interested to see how that pans out, how much developer support they're gonna get, and when they're gonna crank out first party titles. I wonder if they're gonna crank out big AAA first party titles, or they'll default to making that somewhere else. Or I don't know. Um, Let's see here. Dark Link says neutral my butt. I don't. I guess you're. Are you talking about the contract? Hmm. Anyhow, yeah, guys, I think that's it. I know Slomo had a. Slomo, you back?
I am back. Sorry about that.
No, no worries, man. You know, Slomo, I think we're done. We got through all the. It's been kind of a somewhat light news week, I think.
Did you talk about Witcher 3 sells 20 million?
Yeah, 20 million. Man, that's awesome. I talked
20
about that
million all
earlier.
platforms. That's
All
what's up.
platforms. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's when you sell that much, you kind of solidify yourself as a excuse me, major developer. I remember I can't, I think
Hmm.
about every single big developer
Yep.
has at least one game that has sold over 15 million, right? And it kind of puts them in a different like stratosphere. Naughty Dog, Rockstar, now Insomniac with Spider-Man. Witcher 3 selling 20 million. I mean, people think about when you think about like those
Mm.
iconic games, like the reason why Gearbox is where Gearbox is with Borderlands 2 as an iconic looter shooter, because that game sold 22 million.
Yeah, no, yeah, I mean, you're right. And
Yeah. So like
yeah.
Witcher 3 is going I think will go down as being the best RPG this generation.
Oh, I said that on the Iron Lords, and
Yeah, yeah.
I
You
got
got
taken to
killed
town for
for
that.
it, but
Yeah, I got killed for it.
that's
Look,
because
because.
did you hear what I called it? I called it the best RPG this generation. You
Yes.
called it the best game of the
And
generation.
in my opinion, it's the best game of this generation.
It can't. Oh, not with that combat. It just can't, man.
Because you know what, man? The rest of the game. Because look, the combat's not its strong. And I admit that it's not its strong point, but it's still good enough to get by. And the other sums of the other parts of the game kind of make you forget kind of how maybe imperfect the combat is, right?
Yeah,
It's not,
they're
so it's not game
always.
breaking.
It's not game breaking, but then it also still can't. It's not like
It's almost the
it
best
doesn't.
game ever made by
Yeah,
mankind.
it can't be the best. It can't be the best of the generation if it has that knock to it. But it doesn't make it a bad game. It's still a really, really good game. Great game if for some people. I liken it to say like Mass Effect 1. Mass Effect 1 is an amazing game. Just an
Mm.
amazing RPG. Great
Two's better.
characters, great story.
Two's
Uh,
better.
hmm.
Two is better.
Oh, but two's the best of the series.
Yeah.
Two is in my top five of games all time. So two's better than a whole lot of games. But
Wait, so I went back. It's funny. I played I missed Mass Effect 1.
mhm.
I played 2, went back and played 1. And then played 2
You
again.
never played one before?
No, I did not play 1 first. I played 2 first. Because at the time I was doing a lot of online multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember a buddy of mine was like, "Oh, you gotta play Mass Effect 2."
Well,
And
two is a better game,
I
but
played 2, and then I went back and played 1, and then I took my character because you take your character along the whole series. Took my character, I started my character on 1 and played, and then went back and played 2 again.
yeah.
So I
But,
played 2 twice.
but what I would say about one, or the only thing I would say one has over two is a better antagonist
Hmm.
because the collectors in two and that big baby human reaper thing that you fight at the end.
The hell
Those are
was
probably
that?
the weakest parts of Mass Effect 2. But
He
the
said baby
suicide mission
reapers.
itself was
Baby
just
reapers.
that suicide mission it cannot be beat. There's I
Um,
in my eyes that's the best way to end the game final mission of a game. It was amazing. But
yeah.
Saren as a villain in Mass Effect 1 just like
Saren he seemed kind of easy to beat in Mass Effect 1.
well look if you
Because I
recall
remember like jumping all around the screen. Like he like did he like kind of like jump around a little bit?
yeah well yeah when the indoctrination completely took over him and he was no longer Saren. It's basically
Yeah.
you're fighting the Reaper who's trying to get in to the Citadel controlled through through Saren's body. He is just bouncing all around the walls. All you had to do was hide behind that pillar and take shots at him.
Oh,
From
that's right. You
behind
know
it.
what? I think that's how I beat him.
Yeah,
Yeah, you would hide behind
how I
that
did the
pillar. You're
game.
right.
But him as a character was his personality, his even this like my first time playing that with on Paragon.
Uh-huh.
At the end, I convinced Saren to to shoot himself. Like I actually convinced him that he was wrong and that all this time like he to fight back.
So so your shepherd was high in the ability to persuade people. Then.
Oh yeah, I always did that,
See,
and I always do
I
that.
never did that, man. I never.
No, you got to do that
See, I
in
would
any
try to, and then I just like
Enrique, in any Bioware game. Or if they give you the ability to persuade people, always put your points in that first.
Really, I
It
never
has
did,
the
man.
best
Oh,
events that happen. Take Knights of the Old Republic, for instance.
yes,
Right?
yes, yes.
When I went high in persuade, I remember going to one of this like I can't remember the name of the station, but
Mhm.
it's like a place in Star Wars where all the scoundrels go and whatnot. And this dude tried to rob me when I got there.
Yeah.
I persuaded him to jump off the building. I was
Jump off
like,
the building, or I would kill
that cliff
you.
over there, jump. And he's just like,
Uh,
no, I don't want to, but I had. He just jumped off, and then of course my party members were like, that was really evil, and I was like, it was great. It was great. When you're high on persuade, you in Mass Effect 1, when Rex is about to go off, you can convince him, hey, look, you need to calm your ass down right now, it's about to be a problem. Rex calms down. It's
uh.
always got the best options when you're high on persuade.
Hey,
Even
weren't the Krogans
Dragon
horny?
Age. Say what?
Weren't the Krogans horny?
Yeah, they were always having sex, but they had that
Like did they? Like what? Did they? But then they made themselves like sterile or something.
no.
Like
So they were taking over the galaxy or trying
yes,
to.
yes.
And then the little Solarians, the little skinny ones, came up
Yeah.
with the idea
To
of
make them.
you make them sterile with the genophage. Which is
Yes,
what
because
Rex
they were
was
like too
upset.
aggressive or something. Because
Yeah.
they had,
Yeah, because they were too much of a problem. Like we can't beat them in battle, but if they can't reproduce, then they don't have enough of them to really take over. I thought that was pretty smart. A pretty
I,
smart backstory.
Slim, I tell you what, man. I gotta go back and play this. It's funny. I think Mass Effect is probably that might be the best. I don't know, man. Like I played so many games over the last 35 years. That might be the best trilogy I've ever played, man.
It is the best trilogy, period.
I mean, one was okay. Like I wasn't a big fan of one.
One was good. It's more than
I
okay.
mean, it was good. Two was like, oh my god.
I think
You
one
know,
just hasn't aged well. You know.
yeah, yeah.
So like
One,
Death
yeah.
Grip says 3 was his least favorite.
Three was
And
a
he
lot of
played
people's least
through
favorite.
1 through 2 4 times. I played through all of them about a good 7 or 8 times. Don't Call Me Dane says play on the hardest difficulty. Mass Effect 1 was tough. Facts. Big facts. Like you just can't even you can't even take too many hits. Like you just go down.
I tell you what. Who my favorite character was in Mass Effect, the Elusive Man.
He was great. He was great.
I mean, as a head of
who was this? Martin Sheen.
Martin
did his
Sheen,
voice.
man.
Perfect guy for that role.
You know what's funny is so when I did big shout out to Mr. Megadeth and SDGC, man, when Super Deformed Gamescast had Mike Laylaw on,
Mhm.
I was on that podcast. And I remember asking Mike Laylaw, I'm like, dude, I said, Lucid Man is my favorite character in Mass Effect. I was like, what was it like to work with Martin Sheen? So the guy was like the consummate professional. Like very intense, very professional,
I can see
and
it.
just knocked it out of the park. And I'm like, I mean, like when I found out, like like for me, like that was like, wow, like Martin Sheen is in this fucking game. You know,
So perfect for that role. I mean, the perfect casting. They really. Oh man, you get me started with old school Bioware.
you got me feeling, you got me that nostalgia going for me right now, man.
Yeah, man. It's just like it's never going to be the same, man. And just like as Ryan Landis said, you didn't like Andromeda, aka Butterface in space, exactly. Like But my face is so tired. That meme
Yeah,
because she had like 20 Botox done at one time on her face.
yeah,
It's just gosh, like Andromeda missed the mark in so many different ways. The entire crew was boring. You got the Ryder twins. Didn't matter which one you chose. They were basically both boring protagonists that would never like were allowed to make any hard decisions.
yeah.
Like
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
the choices were not like how your choices
Mm,
were with Shepard. Like you could be straight good, good guy, straight evil,
mm,
or you could be sarcastic or somewhere in between. With the Ryder twins, it's either sarcastic choice, but or stern, straight
mm,
face, straight laced choice. But the choices aren't any different. Like you didn't get the opportunity to actually make any decisions, and
yeah.
it's just that the villain was trash. It was such a
Yeah.
generic loser villain. Oh my gosh, everything about it was bad, and yet I still wanted that damn Quarian DLC.
What's interesting back like for me the kind of backdrop to to the Mass Effect franchise was kind of like discovering who the Reapers were, and kind of their purpose and coming back and basically committing genocide. I mean, I think isn't that
Yeah,
kind of what they? I mean, I think they were there to kill everyone, right?
right,
I mean,
right, right.
that was part of
The
the Mass
cycle.
Effect like relays, right? In that, if I'm not, it's funny, man. I played these games like years ago, and my brain's fried, man. Like now that I'm older and have kids, I don't remember all the stuff, but that was kind of like the backdrop. I remember like the Reapers coming back and trying to commit mass genocide, basically wipe out the universe.
Yo, no, don't. I'm sorry. Yeah, don't call me Danny. He's right. He's like you. You didn't like one because you played it after two. But you know what? They do need to do a trilogy remaster, and they need to. One, I don't want Bioware to do it. Current day Bioware to do it because they're probably going to screw it up. And they don't need to have like divide their resources too much. They
Mm.
need to focus on making Dragon Age 4 good so that they don't get completely shut down. Right. But get someone like Blue Point Games to do the remaster. Make Mass Effect 1. Give it the same combat as Mass Effect 3 or Andromeda, right? Because Andromeda, one only good thing about Andromeda was the combat, but like make the combat better because that's the weakest part of Mass Effect 1. Give it
Hmm.
great visuals, not that Frostbite engine. I want Unreal Engine the way Mass Effect was done in Unreal Engine 3. I want Unreal Engine 4 or whatever 5 or whatever they come up with that Epic's coming up with
Yeah.
now with the next gen. Give me that remaster. That's what I'm talking about. What's up, B? Oh, what's
What's
going
up,
on,
B
huh?
Money? We're talking about
Happening.
Mass Effect, man. Just how great of a trilogy that was, man. Hey, let me ask you something, Slim. Weren't the humans like not allowed at the table?
Yeah, well, and in the
Like,
first one, they were new
they were
to
new.
the galaxy,
Yeah,
so
like
they
they
didn't
weren't.
want them on the council. They didn't
Yeah,
want
like
them
they were
having a
kind of
voice
like
or anything.
yeah, they were kind of like frowned upon or something.
hmm but then basically, yeah, and then like all the specters, the whole specters
Mm.
division was didn't have any humans in it, and Shepard is the first human added to it, and then I think eventually you could choose to have either Captain Anderson or that douchebag politician, I can't remember his name, become the fourth person on the council. Um, yeah, man, that story was amazing. They
Like
can't make
yeah, I'm
stories
saying
like that no more.
like there. I mean, like if you think about the story of the Mass Effect trilogy, it's so deep and it's like, but it's so good. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it just, oh man, I'm telling you,
yeah.
we
People
haven't
don't
had a
even
true
know. People don't even know that the name of the organization that you're with in the second game,
Cerberus.
Cerebus. Yeah, but
Cerberus, yeah,
yeah, Cerebus. Cerebus is in the first game. People don't
yeah.
even realize that, but they're not like they're a side story.
The Earth side story, but then
It's
they come like the
so
main story.
Yeah, the game is so deep that the main organization in the second game is a side story in the first game. This is man, they don't make games like that no more, man.
I don't think we've had a game, a trilogy, this console generation with that level of detail to the story.
What? Don't
You
call me
know?
Danny said none of his saves transferred with every new game. He always had to start
Oh,
over.
really?
I
I didn't
literally
have that
never
problem.
had that problem. All my stuff always transferred.
That's why I went back
Bizarre.
and played one because I knew you could take your characters along.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
You
mm,
you played through the Mass Effect series, right?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't finish the third game though.
Really?
Um, yeah, I didn't finish the third
yeah.
game. I actually need to go back and finish it.
You got to
Look,
go back, B.
go back and get disappointed. You
Oh, don't say
you
that.
may lower your feeling.
The three was darker, man. Had a darker tone to it.
I mean, look,
I felt like it was like too shooty though. Like it
It was
became
more
all,
shooty.
yeah.
it became like more of a action game and less of a RPG.
It did. Yeah, I agree with that. It came more. Yeah, it did. It did.
But I thought,
Darker tone.
here's the thing. I still thought it had the best combat though out of the first three. And here's the one thing I've always said: each Mass Effect game, and I'm going to include Andromeda in this. I felt like the combat was better than the previous games. Andromeda, I think, has the best combat out of all the Mass Effect games. I may be in the minority with that, but if you play Andromeda and you get high enough at a level and where you can be able to just because like the whole premise to it is that you have this AI in your head, and this AI allows you to develop abilities and then create like profiles or slots for them so that you can like, be just on the fly become like a technician or on the fly
Mm.
become a vanguard or become a biotic adept or a soldier, and just no matter what the situation you can just hit a button and become a different warrior at that time. And the way the skills worked was kind of like in the very foundational stages of what Andromeda's combat was. And again, Andromeda had a lot of problems, but the actual gameplay was actual gameplay was actually pretty fun. But the whole priming enemies and then triggering them with
Mm.
a different power or ability that worked well in connection with that. All that stuff was in Andromeda, and it was pretty damn good. It's just the story was trash. The characters were boring as all get out, and the villain
It was
like
trash.
something from a Saturday morning cartoon. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I thought they had the best combat. But three, the thing about three, they just destroyed three was the ending. And I'm glad Forte is not here to try to tell us about, man, I shot the thing one time, then I thought about it, then I shot it again, then I thought about it again. I'm like, I don't care, man. It's the same ending with three different colors. It doesn't matter. It was a bad ending.
Oh my god.
And then for them to go back and be like, all right, we'll make it better. But all they did was add some additional dialogue in the last like 2-3 hours of the game and still give you the same ending. It's not what people signed on for.
Yeah. All right. Again, man. I will say this. I will stand by my earlier statement. I think that we haven't seen a trilogy like that since Last Generation, and
Ah,
that might be the best trilogy I played, man, in my lifetime.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I think that's some has a lot to do with just the change in game development now. I
Uh,
mean, how many trilogies have we got this or this generation period? You know what I mean? When you
yeah.
None.
look back at last gen, you know what I mean, they pumped out three amazing games
Yeah.
within, that eight or 6 to 8 year period or whatever. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, look at what we got this generation. We barely get sequels to like any of the games that come out.
Yo, was Mass Effect 1 360? Was that like the very, very beginning? Yeah, good because
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
it
was
was.
for
so
60.
long.
That
Yeah,
was
Yeah.
2000. That was like 2007, right?
2007.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was three
Yeah.
years after the launch of the 360. So
Oh, man, EA got
and,
their
and it was exclusive. Remember, it was exclusive to the 360.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
God damn it, Microsoft fucked
It
up.
was
See,
published by Microsoft.
see,
And then
that's
when
another.
EA got their hooks on them, they went multi-plat.
That's another example of Microsoft dropping the ball.
Yeah, they should have scooped Bioware up. Bioware was looking
Yeah.
for they were looking for today's Microsoft would have been
Yeah, today's Microsoft would have got him.
yeah.
You think so?
I would
Yeah,
never allow this to
But
happen.
B, but why do you B? Why do you think today? Because of just the studio acquisitions they're doing right now.
I just think they have more foresight to acquire big companies like that.
But Phil was there. Phil was there during that time. He
He was,
wasn't.
but he wasn't in charge, man.
Yeah, he was in charge.
That's the thing.
But a lot of the guys at Bioware come from Interplay and also Obsidian
Well, I remember Interplay.
Hmm? Yeah,
Said
yeah,
I remember Interplay. It's funny you
yeah.
brought them up here.
And Obsidian and In Exile are also former Interplay devs too. They're all come from the same tree of gaming.
It's a good pedigree.
And yeah, today's Microsoft would definitely lock them down big time because
Yeah,
that fulfills a certain genre that they currently like don't have, and those games were great. I mean, they're in a way have tried to correct that mistake by bringing in Obsidian.
yeah.
Obsidian's a AAA dev.
Mm-hmm.
They can do AAA games, and have at times followed behind BioWare after BioWare, dropped a hit, and they dropped
Mm-hmm.
a hit themselves with Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Yeah.
So
Hey, let me ask you guys something. Kind of pivot here a little bit. As we talk about video games. So I just picked up. I was telling B. I was telling Slim. I picked up. You probably saw the tweet. Picked up Judgment and oh shit, what's the other game I
Bloodstained.
picked? Yes, thank you. Have you guys picked up those games? And Slim, I know you. I don't think you picked up Judgment.
no,
Um,
I think I'm gonna eventually get Judgment, but maybe B knows the answer to this question. Does Judgment have like any strong ties to the other Yakuza games, or is it just kind of like the same kind of game? But it's a self-contained story.
It has ties to the Yakuza games.
Okay, I'll wait then, because I haven't played. I have the Yakuza games, but I haven't played them yet.
Yakuza
Yeah,
games are good.
yeah, they are.
Yeah, I need to get on that. I definitely gotta get on that. But I'll wait on Judgment. By the time I'm ready to play that, it'll probably be on like
Yeah.
sale. So yeah.
B, did you pick up Judgment or Bloodstained?
I haven't picked up Judgment yet. I did get Bloodstained, but I haven't started playing it yet though.
Yeah, I gotta start playing that. I started playing. I actually started playing Judgment a little bit last night, and then I just got tired. I was like, okay, I can't play this anymore. But it very much gave me Yakuza vibes. Like
Yeah,
even the combat is like very much like Yakuza,
yeah.
which isn't a bad thing. I mean, I enjoy the combat in Yakuza. It's fun, easy to pick up. Really like interesting characters, great narrative.
Yeah.
You know,
You know,
um,
Is this one
I'm
full English voiceover?
yeah, you have the option of doing either playing it with Japanese voiceover and English subtitles or English voiceover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I did English voiceover, but now I'm kind of regretting it. I'm like, oh, I should have Japanese.
Yeah,
is Judgment a $60 game?
No,
Really?
no, it is 60.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, it is 60. Yeah, but Bloodstained's like 30, I think, or 40, or no 40.
$40. Yeah, for Bloodstained.
Yeah,
Cool. Yeah, I think I might go ahead and pick it up eventually. But I need to start playing it. I got Yakuza Zero and Kiwi or Kawaii, whatever it's called, and I got a third one. But yeah, I think Zero is the first one, right?
Yeah, that's a prequel.
yeah, that's a pretty cool. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, that's the one. That's the one that I haven't finished yet.
I think I might start that one tomorrow. Might as well. I'm not working tomorrow, so
There you go, man. There you go.
going to see Spider Man though. I'm not working.
Yeah, I need to go see it. Are the
Pretty
theaters
good,
open
man.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought everything was closed to the 4th of July, but
At least
It'll
they
be
should
open.
be open. Let me double check.
It's
Yeah.
open for sure.
yeah. Guys, I'm starting to lose my voice. Man, I'll tell you what.
What do you think about what do you think about XCloud. No, not XCloud. There's this report from Brad Sams that there is not necessarily the Lockhart, but something like the Lockhart may be coming out where
It's a
like
streaming device,
a
you know.
streaming actual piece of hardware could be coming out for less than $100.
Yeah, I thought this is something that we kind of heard rumors about before, which I think could be a smart idea. It just depends on how they try to market it, and then what the cost of their streaming is, because they still haven't come out with like clear messaging of what xCloud is,
Hmm.
and what that pricing model is going to be. And I think the reason that they haven't is because they've been throwing so much at the consumer that they don't really know how to speak about xCloud properly.
Boy.
You know what? Thank you, B. That you had just you said what I was trying to say earlier, but you said
Yeah.
it in a much better way. That's exactly how I feel. I feel like they have a lot to say and they're doing a lot, but they have not found a way to put it out to the audience in a way that is coherent and makes sense. And right now, like there are still people out there that think that XCloud was nothing but console streaming because Phil, for some dumb reason, decided to talk about console streaming on the XCloud segment at E3. Why talk about this right now? And then later on in the interview, clarify, oh no, those are two different things. What?
Right, right.
He was high, man.
Like a small fraction of the people who watched that at E3 is reading this interview to find out what you said,
Yeah.
a misconception.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
Yeah,
man.
because I would think that if you just ask just a general consumer, or just took a survey and asked people what xCloud was, they would think it was just a game stream. Basically remote play, and
Yeah,
that there's no cost tied to it or anything like that. So,
right.
you know, I
Which is
think
really going to shock people when they see that actual price come out and it's like a $10 thing.
right, right,
Right. I
and I also think that with Stadia coming out,
Yeah.
um, I think it puts Microsoft in a hard spot to explain what xCloud is, especially if it does cost. And then I'm sure they're trying to figure out the pricing model for it, because Stadia really doesn't make much sense,
not at
because
all.
what I mean, you pay for a streaming service and then you still have to pay
Mm.
for games as well. Um, and we still have no clarification of what xCloud is going to provide beyond,
Yeah.
you know, pulling games from our server.
Right,
You know what
right.
I mean? Are those games also going to cost? You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
is it
Good
just a
point.
straight subscription, or is it like, oh, you pay $10 a month to get access to stream these games, but you also have to buy the game separately? You know
Mm,
what I mean? So I think that's why they also have kind of been like kind of hush hush on it, because they want to
Yeah.
see where the ball lands for Stadia, and then what I mean, this fall, once they roll out the free beta or whatever, they'll let people play it, and then
But
in
I
2020 they'll
see
say this
where the
is what
ball
it
gonna
is.
land for Stadia. It's gonna be in
Oh boy.
glove because it's gonna be a strike.
Wow.
It's a
It's gonna
strike.
be in the trash can because it's
Get on
trash.
out of here because you messed up. I'm
Oh my
sorry. You
goodness.
got 32 games you launching with. 32 games. And some of them don't even come with your subscription.
Oh boy.
The majority of them don't come with your subscription.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, see,
sign up to get Destiny and Baldur's Gate 3. That's the only two I know for certain.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, 'cause see, the interesting thing for Microsoft is that they've said that they got 2,000 plus games that are readily available on xCloud, and that it basically is just some magic that they have to do on their end, and the developer just has to say that they'll allow the game to be on xCloud. So
Yeah.
we still have to see exactly what that means, as far as
Hmm.
being a consumer, and what that's going to cost, or how they're going to roll that model out. But I think with them having Game Pass and then Game Pass Ultimate, and all the other subscriptions that they have going on, they just don't want to go out there and try to get more money from you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I think 2020 would be the big rollout once everything, all the smoke clears, and
Yeah.
they can properly explain it.
Yeah, so yeah, the beta is supposed to be. It's an open beta, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's supposed to be a
Open beta
public beta.
October. I'm definitely going to try it because it's something I can do while I'm at work, um, on lunch break or something like that. Just
Yeah,
play around with some, or get caught up on wherever I left off on a particular game.
too
But
funny.
for us hardcore gamers, that thing is never going to be anything that's like
Nah.
your primary method of gaming, which is
Yeah, probably not. I mean, unless it's 1-to-1, it's we get those those big AAA experiences on that on that platform. You're right. I don't think it's going to be the first choice for a lot of gamers, but it's just another option. But we'll see.
Yeah,
See what
by the way,
happens.
theaters are open tomorrow. So and
Yeah,
the closest one to me is open at 9 a.m. So I'm gonna go check out Spider-Man first thing in the morning with my kids. Use them as my excuse.
that's funny, man.
The one thing I do want to see on like any of these streaming services though is how multiplayer is implemented and what the lag time is, or what I mean,
Yeah,
what the reaction time is to
but like,
gameplay. You know what I mean? Because Stadia says that they're gonna have Destiny, on there. That also features multiplayer. A
mm,
versus mode. So I mean, does that actually work? I mean, we've seen just with some of the single player stuff that they had that they've had some issues with connections and stuff like that. So
mm,
what I mean, when you start getting into some of the bigger sports games like FIFA and Madden and 2K stuff like that, where all of your button presses matter, what I mean, and you want the reaction time to be as minimal as possible. How is that gonna actually play out on a streaming
yeah,
service? You know what I mean? So
yeah. I think that's a question everyone has. But according to Greg Miller, he's saying it's amazing. But that's also in a controlled environment. So we'll see. I mean, there's definitely a lot of unknowns. With streaming.
yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. One thing I do know for certain is in 2021, we will not be talking about Google in gaming. We may be talking about Amazon because I heard because there was that talk that when talks broke down between Sony and Amazon for them basically doing what they're now doing with Microsoft, that for whatever reason, think talks broke down, but there was a little snippet of a mention that Amazon was also gearing up to do their own service with AWS.
Mm.
So I think we'll be having a talk about Amazon and not Google in a couple years.
Wow, really? Okay.
Well, and Amazon actually has first party studios that
Hmm.
have been working on games for years.
Yeah, yeah,
But then I
Probably
think it.
tell for all those games, but at least they
Yeah,
actually thought about it before 2019.
yeah,
Um, yeah, uh, hopefully Amazon actually thinks about actually coming out with some hardware because if they don't, they're going to end up just like Stadia, if you ask me. But
yeah. No, I mean it's. We'll see, man. I'm a little more bullish on Stadia than you guys, but we'll see. We'll see what it's going to be interesting for sure. We'll see what happens in the future. So,
yeah,
I think that's it in terms of topics, man. We just kind of went on a tangent with Mass Effect.
yeah,
I'm glad we talked about that franchise because
good
it's
times,
so
good times.
yeah, it's so good. Um, but yeah, I do need to wrap up tonight's podcast because I gotta get up early tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to that, but I do uh, give a big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Thank you guys for the super chats and great conversation as always. Appreciate it and be money man. Glad you could join us, man.
yeah, man. Got in here a little late and just got in from seeing Spider Man. It was
Mm.
an amazing movie, so
Oh,
Oh,
y'all,
amazing.
out of
Okay,
10,
all
out of
right.
yeah,
10, what
y'all,
would you
go out
give
there
it?
and check that out.
Hey, how many B monies would you give it?
Out of 10, I'd probably get it a solid 8.5.
All
Oh,
right,
I'm
that's good,
excited.
man.
I am so excited. I'm about to go to bed
Yeah.
early just so I can, in my mind, watch it sooner.
Nice, man. Well, B, let everyone know where they can find you, man.
Yeah, man. Just you can find me anywhere. Same name everywhere. Be Money 101. I'm here every Wednesday night and also on the Tick podcast on Saturday evenings at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Awesome, man. Cool, man. Slomo, you got a new channel up?
Yeah, I have a new channel up.
You let everyone know about your channel, man.
Dropped a video today. It's a new series I'm doing called Coming Soon. I'm gonna do a video every season of the games that I think show the most promise in that season. So I feature 6 games in the video I dropped
Nice.
today. Uh,
Nice.
Go to my channel, check it out. It's got some bangers in there. A lot of Nintendo, Switch focus in there too. And but yeah, that's my channel. Same name, Slow Mo Backslap. Same name on Twitter. Same name on Xbox. Same name on PlayStation, just with some underscores in there because apparently PSN doesn't like the word backslap.
Nope.
um, and yeah. So come check me out. And also on Scumcast. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it this weekend because it's cookouts and holidays and stuff. So we'll see
Oh
what
my
happens.
god.
But
It's
check
funny
out
you mention. It's funny you mentioned cookouts, man. This weekend's like all about cookouts.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit. Gonna be eating lots of food this weekend for sure.
Yeah, we gained a lot of weight, man.
I'm gonna be eating burgers and hot dogs.
I was doing real
And
good.
drinking beer.
I'm probably gonna gain all the weight I've got off in the past couple of months.
Yeah.
This weekend alone.
Jesus. All right, everyone. Well, everyone, please, if you are watching us here in the U.S., please have a safe and happy 4th of July. Don't hold any firecrackers in your hands like the guy from the Giants did. You blow off a thumb or something. Don't do that. Be safe. Seriously. On that note, we are out. We'll be back next Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, everyone, enjoy your 4th of July holiday and have a great weekend. And more importantly, just have fun gaming. Just have fun. It's going to be okay, everyone. Peace.
Peace out.
Peace.